In today's video, I bet a lot of people are going to be really upset if they made some investments recently because we just got an absolutely shocking Commander ban list update that had 4 cards banned at the same time. So let's get into it. Everybody, thanks so much for being here. I do appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to watch the video. If you do enjoy, please hit that like button and subscribe. And then if you want to click the bell icon to be notified whenever new videos are uploaded, that'll be great too. I was actually not planning on making a video today. I was just taking a day off after editing and filming a bunch of stuff from over the weekend. And then I saw the announcement today from the Rules Committee that there is not only ban list update, there are 4 banned cards. And I've been playing Commander for about 3.5 years, so not nearly as long as some people. However, in that time, I believe there's only been 1 ban list update, period, and it had 1 singular card, which was Hull Breacher at the time. I have not even seen them ban anything. I've joked with friends, like, I wonder if we're ever going to get changes, whether it's taking stuff off, putting stuff back, what have you, as they reanalyze and stuff. But wow, I genuinely could not have predicted this going the way that it went, and it's truly shocking here, even as we sit here and go through it. So let's start out with the first banned card. Jeweled Lotus is banned. It is banned in Commander. It is banned in CEDH. It is just universally now a part of the Commander ban list. If you guys aren't familiar with Jeweled Lotus, it's essentially a Commander-oriented version of Black Lotus that is obviously not as good, but can oftentimes accomplish very similar goals to what you're looking to do with Black Lotus if you were playing it early on. It's super easy to use Jeweled Lotus to cast a commander that costs a bit on your first or second turn, which can put you in a significant advantage, of course. And then in addition to that, it was a card going for around $100, give or take, as of this morning. A very, very popular card. Has a few different variants. It was reprinted most recently in August of 2023 in Commander Masters, and that was an awesome product in theory. It didn't end up working out so well because the MSRP, or quote-unquote MSRP, was really high, but the actual product itself had a lot of good reprints, and I like opening it if you can get it cheaper than what the retail price is. I think Commander Masters is kind of a fun set with some good reprints, but this card was marketed that way, and of course, I know that the Rules Committee actually is separate from Wizards, so I don't know, you could make the argument that at the time that came out, Wizards didn't know the plan was going to be there to ban it, or you could be a conspiracy theorist and say that, like, they knew it was going to get banned in, like, a year, so they, they reprinted it to cash in on it before that. I'm not really sure whether or not that's the case, though. I don't know how much insight Wizards has into the decisions. I thought that they largely leave the Rules Committee to their own judgment, but perhaps with a card on the level of Jeweled Lotus that has so much value and so much significance, maybe there was some discussion. I don't know. Either way, I did not expect this card to be banned. You could easily make the argument that it's ban worthy. It's extremely strong and pretty generically played in most things. But you could also make the argument that it was designed for Commander, and now by banning it, there's ultimately nothing else you can really utilize it in. I know at one point, I think it was Legacy or Vintage, had like an infinite mana loop with this and doubling cube, but that was how long ago, So I don't know. This one's a shocker. It's down to $48, give or take, on TCG Player at the time I'm recording this video, which is about 3 p.m. Eastern, if anyone's curious from tracking how low that price actually drops. But yeah, man, this is people can't get rid of this fast enough, and it is tanking, and I don't know if we'll ever see it come back. I like the card. I was hoping to get one, actually, and then I ended up, now that it's banned, I almost bought one the other day, and I ended up not doing it. So I think, you will see the card seeing a lot of play, in Legacy if it's part of that combo, but it's going to end up tanking pretty significantly. And basically their logic was that you can easily get 5 mana plays on turn 1 or 2, which is a fair logic. Like, Jeweled Lotus is an extremely strong card. Just genuine shock on that one, especially with how, like, the fact that it was reprinted recently, just truly a crazy one there. Mana Crypt was the next card banned, and another genuine shock. This card has been pretty much one of the most significantly played cards in the format since its inception, and obviously Mana Crypt, a 0-drop add 2, it's like a it's Soul Ring-esque, except it's free, so you can play it in, you know, in turn 1 combinations can be extremely easy to do, and this is, you know, pretty much what they said about Jeweled Lotus as well. Mana Crypt's allowing you to accelerate so fast on turn 1 and 2 to the point where if one person draws it and the others don't, those people are inherently behind just because of the advantage that the other individual would have. So kind of a crazy you know, thing. And this card was just reprinted in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It was around $200 at the cheapest, usually more, and you know, the card will hover around 175, but I mean, this is a hugely desired card that has always been really expensive because of how actually good it is. And Mana Crypt now with the reprint is down to $75. And yes, I just looked that up as I'm editing, but I am truly stunned at that price. That is unbelievable to see that kind of change. If you guys had a lot of mana, I mean, I hope you didn't have multiple unless you're a collector, but man, nobody would have thought, and there was no way to get out behind it. That's a massive price drop for a card that was a huge selling point, and likely from Wizards' perspective, something they probably wanted to reprint again, you know, and cash in on again, because the Ixalan reprint did not do much to change the set's overall value for Mana Crypt. But just 2 cards I can't believe that got banned. Like, I get the justification, and maybe one of them, but I mean, it is definitely changing a lot about the format in terms of the combos and stuff, and I don't necessarily mind that. Obviously, we need to make sure things are balanced, but I also think Commander is an inherently self-balancing format for the most part, not always, for the most part, that does kind of allow for those types of things to happen, but I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have banned both, but this is what they've decided to do. And then we've got Dockside Extortionist banned. Now, this one I'm more on board with. You know, I think it's a really strong card, and people have called for it to be banned for a while. Shortly after Hull Breacher was banned, people were surprised this hadn't been you know, addressed at all yet. It is a really good card that by like even your first turn can generate you a significant amount of mana ramp, which is sort of what they're saying they want to do less here. But you can, it's also talking about like the blink triggers, bring it off the field, bring it back, and loop the effect, keep using it, and just generate so much advantage in terms of mana that your resources are all free and your opponents really can't do anything. It's a really powerful card. It's been very expensive pretty much the entirety of its lifespan, and it now I don't know. You know, now I genuinely don't even know where he ends up price wise. I'm looking live editing here to see where he's at, and it looks like he's somewhere around. Wow, I've never seen a tank go into that extent. He's somewhere around $30 now, but I mean, again, I don't know where else you're really using him. So, man, some truly crazy hits for Dockside, but I'm kind of okay with that one. I did sort of expect it. I think he probably should have been banned a while ago. Definitely less shocking than the others. I just didn't know if they'd ever pull the trigger. And then Nadu Winged Wisdom was banned as well. Just another card that we've discussed ad nauseum. It's also been banned in Modern already. It's an extremely strong card that is just not balanced, and the reason they banned it in Commander wasn't even balanced so much as it was the amount of time a turn would take. So you got the person sitting there going through a 25-minute turn that just can't be interrupted, and it's just very long, very convoluted, and just creates a lot of chaos at the table, they said. And so they decided to ban it despite that, just to sort of avoid any of this that might, you know, end up going there. So, yeah, I mean, this is the ban list update. This is more of just a riff, kind of off-the-cuff thoughts on it, but genuinely shocked by some of this. I did not think Mana Crypt was going to go. Jeweled Lotus, I mean, this is going to tank the value of so many cards, and I mean, obviously this is a game first and foremost, so I don't really feel bad if people are like making their investments in Magic. I don't think that's a smart way to invest, at least certainly not with like cards to that nature. So what I mean by that is, you know, people who lose some value on this, you know, if you just had the one, you probably got a lot of time out of it, a lot of use out of it, and can probably still move it for something. But, you know, if you had like 20 Jeweled Lotus, you're like, I was waiting, like, I mean, you know, that's the risk you take when you get into the market like that. So it's going to be wild to see how this all shakes up over the next couple of days, and where this will fall. But yeah, there's been some big hits in Commander today. So let me know what you guys think about that in the video, in the comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.